Before I begin today's video, if you want one of these beautiful flags that are behind me, handmade, 100% wood, right here in the US of A, go to BHE Designs through the link in the description box below. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Chris Wallace of Fox News and his reaction to the Joe Biden inauguration speech. Now, before I get into the video, I just want to say one thing. I did not expect much from Fox News. I expected them to say, okay, congratulations to Joe Biden. He's a new president, and hopefully he does well, because when he does well, we do well. I expected that, kind of a neutral, generic, basic reaction. I did not expect what Chris Wallace did, which was way above and beyond the Call of Duty. Now, before I take it down the rabbit hole with me, let's go ahead and roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see and hear what Chris Wallace had to say. After we get done with that, I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Martha, I thought it was a great speech. I've been listening to these inaugural addresses since 1961, John F. Kennedy, Ask Not. I thought this was the best inaugural address I ever heard. Obviously, a lot of this event today, a lot of the president's speech was colored by the emotion of the fact that exactly 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago, there was a mob of thugs, of insurrectionists, of domestic terrorists on the inaugural stand, and Joe Biden was saying that democracy prevailed. We were able to get through that, and he was talking about how we need to get through that in the future if we are going to be a united country. He talked about white supremacy, domestic terrorism. He said we must confront it. We will defeat it. My whole soul is in this, uniting our people. You know, I think it was less an inaugural address and more part sermon, part pep talk, talking directly to the American people, saying, hear me out. We have a right to dissent peacefully, but our disagreement must not lead to disunion. It was a call to our better angels, a call saying, look, we've got tremendous challenges, COVID, the economy, racial injustice, climate change, but there's nothing we can't do if we come together. And there's one other thing he said that I think especially us in the media must note. He said that there is truth and there are lies, lies that are told for power and lies that are told for profit. And I think that it was a call to all of us, whether it's us on the air, on cable or broadcast, whether it's us on social media, on our Twitter accounts, understanding that we have to deal from facts, from the truth, to hear each other out, as he said, a right to disagree, but not a right to violence. This is the easy part, as has been suggested. Now he's got to turn words, rhetoric into reality and action, but I thought it was a great start.
All right, you heard that, you saw that. Now, this was really ridiculous, really out of control. Chris Wallace, come on, sir. Come on. I understand you don't like Trump. You might even hate Trump. You might be considered a never Trumper. Maybe you're on the Lincoln Project with the rest of them guys over there with, Kellyanne Conway's husband, whatever his name is. Maybe you're with them. I understand. I get it. But the best inauguration speech ever, really, that you ever heard? So better than JFK, better than Reagan, better than Trump, better than Obama? Really? Come on. One thing about Obama, regardless of what, bad president, bad policies, failed presidency, in my humble opinion, regardless of what you want to say about Obama, is that you can't take away that he was a smooth speech reader. Probably one of the best speech readers ever, okay? Now, notice I didn't say public speaker. That's a difference, because when you're just talking off the cuff, he does not do that very well. But when it comes to just reading a sheet of paper or a teleprompter, he's one of the best. He's one of the top guys I've ever heard in my life being able to read, and that's what Joe Biden did at the inauguration, and he did not come anywhere close to Obama. And the whole hope and change, that was excellent. 2008, you're not going to be able to top that with Joe Biden and that dry 10 to 15 minute talk. You're just not going to be able to do it. So the best speech ever, you just really you're not telling the truth, or you're just overreacting because of the substance of the speech. I know Chris Wallace is not really a Trump fan, does not really like Trump, and I feel like he is kind of against the whole movement that Trump has brought in. And I'm gonna explain that, and then I'm gonna get to the substance of the speech because I saw the whole thing live. All right, but I digress. I'm kind of getting off track. Chris Wallace kind of wanted the passive viewer to watch Fox News. And what I mean by that is, you just in a auto detailing place and Fox News is in the background. Nobody's really paying attention. They may see some of the headlines and get a little bit of news from that as they read in the lower third, but they're not really listening. They're not really participating in politics. They're not really involved with it, except for those that matter. Those are the people that are going to be involved, and those are friends of Chris Wallace, the establishment, people that have money, they're really involved in politics. But what Trump did was bring the average person, you and me, and many others, millions of others, into the fold in an active way. And he doesn't like that because now Fox News is being questioned. Whereas before, it'd kind of be on in the background. Nobody would pay any mind. The left would just say, oh, you're listening to Fox News, you're racist, maybe. Now it's more scrutiny on their back. It's more pressure on their back. And now they may do things to where they have to ward off elements they don't want. And he doesn't like that too much. He doesn't like Trump too much. And the element that he may bring, which is a regular, average, everyday person. He doesn't like that too much. So when you have Joe Biden come in there, oh, he's all smiles. Okay, when I was watching this whole thing live, and that's part of the reason why I watched it live, is I figured you would get a weird reaction from the media, and I'm going to give you a real reaction from a regular, everyday guy live to combat what they do. But when I was watching it before the speech, I turned on Fox News, and I saw Chris Wallace and some of the other guys and girls on set. They're full of smiles. Everybody's happy. Everybody's cheering. Not cheering outright, but I could see it in their eyes. They're happy that Joe Biden's in there. So even before the speech, I feel like Chris Wallace and others were empowered. Man, we got rid of Trump. We can go back to kind of being in the background and not really being in the foreground, not really being the topic of conversation. And, the regular normies would kind of fall off. That's kind of what I was getting from their reaction even before Biden spoke. Okay. And then when Biden spoke, it touches on a lot of things that Chris Wallace feels like Fox News has been linked with that he does not want to be linked with. So when Biden speaking against it, then he feels vindicated. Prime example, the whole thing about extremism and white supremacy and the Capitol. People may blame the very same people that go on Fox News for those things, for white supremacy, for the Capitol storming, and then they want to link it to Trump. They want to say that Fox News is the Trump network, and then Trump emboldened these people. Therefore, when Biden speaks against it, Chris Wallace will champion the cause of Joe Biden because that way he's able to absolve himself from anything that somebody may want to put on his back. He's like, look, that's not me that wants to tell them to go out there and storm the Capitol. That's not me that says I'm going to be white supremacist. That's Trump. Even though it's not Trump, it's fine because he didn't like Trump from the beginning. He could throw him under the bus and then praise Joe Biden having the best speech ever. The speech was not that good. 10 to 15 minutes. I was halfway sleeping. I saw Slick Willie in the audience sleeping. It was not a good speech, but the substance of it and the timing of it and the fact that Trump is no longer in office, I feel like are some of the things that fueled Chris Wallace to feel the way that he feels right now. That's what's going on. But I'm not surprised at his reaction. I'm kind of surprised at Fox News for allowing that just to be out there and not taking the neutral perspective. But I'm not surprised that he would feel this way. I'm sure there are many other conservative Republicans on television that feel the exact same way. Okay, Trump brought in regular people. We don't want regular people. We want those that, been in politics for 30 years and stone cold veterans and the donor class and people that got money and the advertisers. We want them. We don't want you. That's kind of what's going on. And this is the reason why alternative news sources, OAN, Newsmax, people like myself and many others that exist beyond mainstream media. That's why we are succeeding right now. And that's why your CNNs and other places are trying to X us out because they know we're rising. We've been rising throughout this entire presidency, but we're going to rise even more now that Fox News is becoming more like CNN. Fox News at this point is like how CNN was back in the 90s. All right. And it's going to get progressively worse as the Murdoch boys put their imprint on it. As you get more of the Chris Wallace types in the fold, it's going to become more and more like CNN to the point where there's no real conservative place on television. People like Pete Hegseth getting pushed to the weekend spot. He'll probably off the network pretty soon. That's kind of what's going on. They're kind of like restructuring over there. They're going to go in a different direction post-Trump, in my humble opinion. That's just going to push a lot of people off of mainstream media that watch it, and they're going to come to us. And we're going to have our own thing going, and we're going to be bigger than them. I guess it's a circle of life, I suppose, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you surprised at Chris Wallace's over-the-top reaction to Joe Biden's speech? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or are you not surprised? Did you see it coming from, 3, 4, 5 years ago or whenever Trump announced? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at with it. I'm not surprised. I've been seeing this from Chris Wallace for quite a while. Overly critical to President Trump. Giving Joe Biden softball questions. That's pretty much how they do. My thing is this. If you're the mainstream media and you want to be critical of a president, that's fine. But when you treat guys with kid gloves and other guys you don't treat with kid gloves, that's just clear bias, period. I don't care. If you want to be critical of Trump and say, oh, you should have done that, you should have done this, that's fine. But do that exact same thing with Joe Biden. I don't really care about anything else. Just keep everything the same. Don't let your bias show. And I think that Chris Wallace let his bias show for the entire world to see. And we're not blind. We're not dumb over here. We can see exactly what's going on. We know exactly where you stand and we know where we stand. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.